Hi, I'm Melissa Nielsen, and today's video is going to center around sort of Waldorf homeschooling when you have two households. So I know we have many families that are co-parenting, and so they're trying to sort of figure out how to do Waldorf at one house and then also be able to do it at the other house. There is a trend right now in, and I think it's probably been going on for the last 10 plus years, in custody disputes where there's 50-50 custody. My opinion on 50-50 custody is that it rarely works, but that's only from walking it and walking through it and watching other people walk through it. So if you can get away from that, then do, but often you can't. That custody evaluators are generally often requesting that. So if it's possible for both houses to homeschool, and you're both on the same page, this is where it's really important that even though you don't like each other and don't want to live with each other, you have to be on the same page for your child. So you'll want to, one of you is going to have to do the planning, and maybe you can both do some planning. Anytime we have a split family in our Thinking, Feeling, Willing program, I always invite both mom and dad to come to anything that we have, to office hours, to our planning calls, all of those things, so they can both get a really good sense of what's going on. But truly, what you'll want to do is look at on paper, when is your child at your house? When is your child at dad's house? And then look at what dad is willing to do. If dad's not willing to do main lesson, but maybe dad's willing to do Spanish and reading practice and flute, then let dad do those things. And then that sort of frees you up then to do the other things. So I think that's really the first place you want to look. You want to ask yourselves, what are you willing to do? How is that going to look? And, will dad, or mom, if it's, if maybe you're the stepmom and you're talking about the other parent's house, will the other parent follow through? Does the other parent have buy-in for this methodology and for what it is that you're doing? Often, if you can just give them the seeds of what they need, then they will get going with regards to doing lessons or doing practice. When my kids still had a good relationship with my ex-husband, they would take a reader over to, like when they were learning to read, take a reader over there, and his job was to read with them. Didn't always happen. So you want to make sure that you have expectations on both sides, that both you and the other parent know what the expectations are. One thing that was super helpful that we had going for a while was I had a free blog. I used Blogger, and I would put all of our lessons on Blogger, and the only person that had access to the blog was dad. And so that allowed him to see what we were doing. And it truly allowed me over time, because I could see that he wasn't actually accessing and he wasn't actually doing the things that he said he was. It gave me data that I could then hand over to a lawyer. But in a situation where hopefully both of you are on the same page, that blog then can be added to by both of you. Both of you could have read and write permissions to it, so that you can post what you're doing. He can post what he's doing, and you can both be on the same page with regards to your child's education. It's so, so important. And it can be so enriching to the child when they realize both parents are on the same page, that even though you're not in the same house, you're absolutely on the same page. And that's what's really important. So I know this was a short video, but I get that question a lot. How do we sort of manage two households? If the other parent, I was about to end it, but if the other parent is absolutely not on board, then here's the thing. Unless you have full educational control, then, well, either way, they have to also do school there. So it may be that you have to sort of loosen the reins and send a workbook, or put your foot down on, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we laid out the plans. If you're not willing to do that, then they can be with me until school's over, and then you can come pick them up. So when we were in court, and this was years ago, school time didn't count as visitation time. So the children were with me during their school hours because I was the one schooling them. And that did not count for that 50%. That 50% is outside of school hours. So you really want to look at that with regards to your divorce decree, how custody is split up, because truly it should not count. School time should not count. It's not like mom time. It is time that you're dedicated to doing school. So you might have it be that it counts maybe from 2 p.m. on. But I also will caution you that if they are working outside the home and they're going to send your child to a sitter, you want to ask for this thing called first right of refusal when it comes to babysitters, because then you are the first person that they call, not a babysitter, with regards to taking care of your child when they're not available, if it's their time. So you just some things to keep in mind. It's not fun. In fact, I'm going to not lie. I'm going to be super transparent. The day the last child turned 18, I did a little dance because I didn't have to think about that anymore. There was nothing else looming over my head with regards to that. But I did really work to make the absolute best of it that I could. One of the things I would highly recommend is that only one parent, if you cannot all swing it, has educational decision making, because then you actually can make those decisions. Generally, one parent has education and one parent has medical. It's not often that both parents or one parent has both. If you can swing both, that's great. Often what we had was I had sole educational decision making and we had joint medical decision making. So he had to ask me before taking them to the doctor, or we had to agree on those things. So I think that allows for balance. But if you're the one homeschooling, then you absolutely should ask for full decision making when it comes to school, since you're going to be the one schooling them, if that's at all possible. So with that, you kind of want to make sure you do your job. You want to make sure that you're keeping your lessons up. I like our Planning for Peace journal because we have places in there to evaluate. So you would want to do that evaluation and then be able to hand it over to the other parent and say, here's my evaluation of this main lesson block, or here's my evaluation of this time that we spent studying X, Y, and Z. So then you're laying it all out for them. And it allows you to really and truly be on the same page with regards to that. So hopefully that's helpful. I hope you're not in that situation, but if you are, blessings to you. I hope you will join us for the next video. We will see you later. Have a good week. Bye.